Who would win in a fight between a polar bear and a hippo?
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah. This is a way better
this is
scenario.
crazy.
Way more interesting. Yeah, this is a crazy one. So, Kyle, pull up the tweet, pull up some photos.
Okay.
Let's go here. I think we got to break this down. We got to really dig into it. And I've thought about this a lot already because I saw it on Twitter this morning.
This is all you've thought about from the ages of 12 to 18.
Yeah. So we're talking about.
Ask me questions. Ask me stack questions. Anything.
Okay, 950-pound polar bear versus a 4,000. No, let's call it a standard male hippo, 7,000 pounds.
Damn, I didn't even know
keep in mind, polar bears can get up to like 1,500 pounds.
Okay, so do you want to go biggest? You want to go biggest?
I don't know. Let's go standard. Let's go mean. I think
so.
That's
Let's
smart.
call it a 900-pound polar bear and a 7,000-pound hippo.
Is that? I thought they kind of averaged at like 5,000.
Hippo?
I thought they maxed out at 5,000.
No, they max out at 9,000.
Oh wow. Okay.
Wow, dude. I
Okay,
have
no,
no
sorry.
idea.
That was bad information. We'll call the hippo 5,000.
I think that's smarter.
1,000-pound bear, 5,000-pound hippo for simplicity.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Polar bear stands at
so
10
hard.
feet tall, right? They can get up to 10 feet standing on their hind legs.
But that hippo is just like a literal World War II tank without the gunpowder.
Yeah, but a polar bear has a bite force of 1,200 psi, and it can run up to 25 miles an hour on land. Like this is a monstrous
so what about a hippo?
animal.
I don't
What
think
about
the
a hippo?
hippo would be running away, though.
Well, but that's the thing. You hear bite force of 1,200 psi on a polar bear, and you're like, oh my God, that's going to go through anything. The bite force of a hippo is 1,800 psi, the strongest bite force of any land mammal in the world.
I've seen them. I've seen the videos of them just chomping down a full-size pumpkin.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's what it would do to a polar bear skull. I mean,
keep
it's
in
insane.
mind the hippo, you
Bonkers.
quoted 28 miles an hour for the polar bear. The hippo can run 19 miles an hour, so it's not that much slower.
But they're going at each other. They're not going, you know what I mean? Like the speed, don't get me wrong, the speed is important, but even if the polar bear's coming at the hippo slightly faster and then he stands up, to me, one bite from that hippo and the polar bear's done. That's all it takes.
I think
but
we got to do
can
something
he get a bite
here.
in?
Oh, nice. Kyle, also, is it possible to find a fight between two hippos that are fighting over territory or something?
I thought you were going to ask him to find a fight between a hippo and a polar bear.
That would be at a zoo.
We did it. We did it on a previous podcast, and I thought it was really helpful to actually watch the animals when they're not necessarily fighting to the death, but they are fighting over territory or something.
Who's
and they
more
are
agile, would you say?
The polar bear.
The
Hippo's
polar bear.
agility is not great on land. They're like a tank running forward, but they don't have a ton of agility.
I mean, just look at this thing, though. It's just a mass.
Look at those canines. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, but the
That
polar bear
mouth.
having the agility is going to be able to stay away from the mouth.
Right. That's what. And don't forget, it is literally armed with knives, which
I
the
don't
hippo
know
doesn't
about
have.
that, though, because the polar bear is going to be trying to shred its eyes and its face and its neck. It might get its arm caught in that giant mouth. That mouth takes up a lot of.
Well, but then the other thing too is the trampling. It's not just the mouth. How hippos mostly kill people is not from the bite. It's they knock them into the air and then they stomp them to death by running over them.
5,000 pounds.
5,000 pounds. It's like dropping an SUV on you. You know. So if this hippo, like if you think of two guys in a rugby NFL game, whatever, and you have one guy who's 6'5" and a little bit leaner but all muscle, and then the other guy who's 6 foot but he's 300 pounds and he's all muscle and he's stocky and he's lower to the ground. The lower to the ground guy is making the harder hit. The guy with the lower center of gravity and the bigger shoulders is making the harder hit.
Well, keep in mind, force equals mass times acceleration, right? So you give the bear, let's call it even a 50% advantage in acceleration, but you give the hippo a 500% advantage in mass.
Right.
I mean, the bear just has to elude any type of charge where the hippo has gained speed.
Also,
what's the
you
arena?
mentioned-
What's the arena? Where are they?
I was thinking about this. Okay, so the arena it's a circular Coliseum-like arena, nowhere to hide, no trees, no water, which is critical because the hippo can overheat. They can both overheat, and the temperature is a nice, cool 55 degrees. I've already thought about it because
All right,
that's like good for the hippo and good for the polar bear.
So
Polar bear
you
can
did-
overheat. It's like right. It's fine. That's fine.
God damn it! Shut up. You did mention. you did mention. I know you're excited. You
very
did mention
excited.
that the polar bear could stand up 10 feet tall, but I think that would be a disadvantage if it did that because the hippo is so low. Are you watching the video?
Yeah,
it's
sliding. That
playing.
looked
It's
real
having fun. Yeah.
Anyways, the hippo could just come charging in there and clip those back legs. Oh my God, look at these polar bears fighting.
Kyle,
dude.
give me a polar bear
Bananas.
claw length. Oh, that's
3
so,
inches.
But
3
that's so
inches.
violent. So 3 inches. That's the other thing, though. So think about this: hippos are designed to combat with each other with those giant tusks. It's part of the reason they have all that blubber. So their hide is somewhat thick. It's not like elephant thick, but they get gashed open all the time. But those tusks are like 8-10 inches on hippos, and it's not doing vital damage. So even though the polar bear has 3-inch claws that are razor sharp, that's just like slicing fat. That's like you or I taking like a cat scratch.
That's what I was
like.
saying. Tank. It's like a tank in an old war, just built tough as shit. Like could take damage. That hide. This is honestly probably one of the hardest ones
Well, I mean,
I've
keep
ever had
in
to
mind
think about.
a fully grown hippo is not a prey item even for a Nile croc,
For nothing in the
right?
world.
So, okay, given the playing field, I mean, look, we have to come up with an answer here. I do
But wait,
think
you
go
did
ahead.
see those polar bears just fighting. Did you see the ferocity of that thing
yeah.
just raining blows?
The
power?
agility too.
That's
Like you see the
crazy.
hippos and they're just like they're just doing this. The bear's like, man, he's got a little twinkle toes to
Yeah,
him.
he's got a little Mike Tyson in him.
Well,
Big
here's
time.
here's my final answer. Then you guys weigh in. Polar bears hunt various things, so they do not have a single style of attack or fighting that they need to do. Right? They can adapt to what they're hunting. Obviously, they fight
Yeah,
each other.
very adaptable. Yeah,
Right?
true.
They fight each other, but they're adaptable. Hippos, will defend themselves if a croc tries to get them or something, but when they fight, they kind of have one fighting style because they're, you know what I mean? They trample and they can use their bite. I think the adaptability of the polar bear, the claws, the agility, I think it wins probably 19 out of 20 times.
You think the polar bear wins 19
do.
out of 20 times?
I do.
Peter?
Listen, this is very difficult, and Pat makes a compelling case.
Forrest can't contain his head shakes.
I'm
It's
trying.
just-
I'm trying. I'm so excited.
The weight difference is so big that I just don't feel like the polar bear, unless it gets a lucky strike right to the face. But how can you do that when you're risking putting your arm into that giant fucking open mouth with?
But they are
12-inch.
slow with those mouths. I mean, don't get me wrong, faster than we could move. But in a fight, like they're not that. It's not
just
like a
think
crocodile with the jaw snap. I don't know.
I think it would be tough for the polar bear to strike vital head and do vital head damage with that open mouth. So between the weight difference and the hide being thick, fat, and it weighing, it being so much bigger and low to the ground, I'm going hippo here. I gotta go hippo.
I'm
19
giving
out of
this
20.
I'm giving this 8 out of 10, or let's call it 18, or I guess that would be what out of 20. I don't know. 16 out of 20. Yeah, 16 out of 20 hippo. 8 out of
Why?
10 hippo.
Explain.
It's too big and it's too powerful. The bear's coming in. It's like if I were to fight Mike Tyson. That's how I see it. It's like, no, that's not a good. I'm trying to think of a good
That's
example.
a heinous example.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's a
because
really
Tyson
bad
would be
example.
you in that case.
No, it would be like you trying to fight a 45-year-old, 350-pound bodybuilder
Correct.
who can't
Yeah.
really move his arms,
Right.
is on
Right,
massive
right.
steroids. Like you've seen those guys.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. And I'm agile and I'm quick and I've been in way too many fights in my life, but he would ultimately wrap me up, get one good blow in, and that's it. My jaw's
And
shattered.
stomp.
And then
Yeah.
just throw me to the ground and I'm broken. That's it. I'm done.
Yeah, I'm with
And
Forrest
that's
on
how I
this
feel
one.
about the polar bear. The polar bear might put in a couple pretty gnarly blows, but once that hippo mauls him over and literally just bowls him over with a head bash, that's it. Like he's done. Polar bear's on the ground getting stomped.
Are you not taking into account that the hippo would be likely to gas first?
I don't know which one would gas first, to be
Okay.
honest.
Okay, yeah, I don't either. I just made that
Like
up.
they both are they're both they both have a fair amount of endurance compared to a gorilla at least. I don't know. I don't know who would gas out first,
I've
but
got
I think
another
that
one.
the hippo. This is nothing fucks up of a hippo. They're so gnarly.